Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next 1 hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi tells ASEAN Summit in Laos that the 21st century is the century of India and the ASEAN nations. Prime Minister Modi gets a culturally rich welcome by the Indian diaspora in Laos. Israel warns of a lethal, precise and surprising strike on Iran as its Prime Minister speaks to the US President. Hurricane Milton makes landfall in the US state of Florida, leaves a trail of destruction. And India mourns the passing of Ratan Tata, state funeral in Mumbai. Former chairperson of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata, is no more. He died at the age of 86 at Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Wednesday, where he was admitted for the past few days because of age-related issues. His contributions to nation building shall never be forgotten.
India's industry titan has passed away. Ratan Tata, a modest business tycoon, breathed his last in a Mumbai hospital late Wednesday night. He was 86 and had been admitted to Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Monday due to a sudden drop in blood pressure. He was in critical condition in the intensive care unit. Born in 1937 to Sunu and Naval Tata, he attended Campion School and Cathedral and John Connon School at Bombay. At 17, he left for Cornell University in New York, where he studied architecture and engineering. In 1962, Tata joined the Tata Group as an assistant in Tata Industries. Later, he served as the group's resident representative in Australia. After returning to India in 1970, he had a short stint at Tata Consultancy Services before joining the board of Tata Sons in 1974 as a director. He was chairman of India's national carrier Air India between 1986 and 1989. On March 25, 1991, he succeeded J.R.D. Tata as chairman of Tata Sons and the Tata Trusts, initiating major restructuring efforts. As chairman, Tata led the major Tata companies, including Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, and more. Under his leadership, the group's revenues grew to over $100 billion in 2011-12. Tata, a teetotaler and non-smoker, consciously chose to remain single. In 1998, Tata launched the Indica, India's first fully indigenous passenger car. Initially criticized by auto analysts, the Indica became a bestseller due to its excellent fuel economy, powerful engine, and aggressive marketing. A newer version, the Indica V2, quickly became a mass favorite. Tata Motors also successfully exported the car to South Africa. The success of the Indica played a key role in Tata Motors' growth. In 2008, Tata launched the Tata Nano, a budget-friendly people's car. He was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, India's second-highest civilian honour, in 2008. In December 2012, Tata stepped down as chairman of Tata Sons after 50 years with the Tata Group and was conferred the honorary title of Chairman Emeritus of Tata Sons, Tata Industries, Tata Motors, Tata Steel and Tata Chemicals. As Chairman Emeritus, Ratan Tata spearheaded significant reforms, including enforcing retirement ages and promoting younger leaders to senior roles. After stepping down, he became a prominent investor in Indian startups, backing a diverse range of companies. His legacy of elevating the Tata Group, his philanthropy, and his commitment to social causes will continue to inspire generations. Condolence messages have been pouring in from all corners of the globe since the news of his passing broke. India's President, Prime Minister, Vice President and many other leaders have paid tribute, describing him as a visionary and an extraordinary human being. International dignitaries have also honoured the Titan. Ratan Tata's mortal remains were displayed at the National Centre for Performing Arts in South Mumbai for the public to pay their last respects. New York's Cornell University is also mourning the loss of Ratan Tata. Alumnus and global leader, he left an indelible mark on the university through historic donations supporting scholarships, technological innovations and other causes. As a former trustee of Cornell, he was the driving force behind the Tata Group. In a solemn occasion marking the end of an era, people from all walks of life gathered to pay their last respects to the legendary industrialist and philanthropist Ratan Tata. The lawns of NCPA at Nariman Point in Mumbai became a sea of mourners united in grief and admiration. In attendance was India's Home Minister Amit Shah, who represented the government of India at the last rites. Tata's contributions to industry and philanthropy were celebrated by countless individuals, each reflecting on his monumental impact on the nation. Ratan Tata's final journey concluded at the Worldly Crematorium in Mumbai, where his last rites were performed with full state honours. In a mark of respect, the national flag flew at half-mast in government offices across the state. The Maharashtra Chief Minister announced a state mourning on Thursday, leading to the suspension of all entertainment programs. This is a profound moment of reflection and remembrance of a man whose legacy will continue to inspire generations. Bureau Report, DD India.
And joining me from Mumbai is my colleague Shyama Mishra. Shyama, walk our viewers through the latest that you are picking up on the state funeral for Ratan Tata.
Ramesh, we are getting this information. The van has already reached there, and the state honors that will be accorded to him. Right now, if you see the visuals, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, along with Union Minister Piyush Goyal and the family members of Ratan Tata, they are seated and the prayers are going on. That special prayer that we were mentioning, that is going on, and after that, we are told that the cremation will take place. We are also told that since 2015, this particular Worli crematorium has been in existence, and before that, we all know that how the way of last rites of Parsis are. It's through the Tower of Silence, but it's changed here, and the visuals that you are seeing is currently where the prayers are going on. So once this particular session is over, it will be done with, it will conclude. The mortal remains of Ratan Tata will be moved towards the electric crematorium, and that is when the state honours will be given, state honours will be accorded. So this is about the cremation, but yes, the entire day has been subdued, and that's because yesterday night this particular news broke, and since then the entire Tata Group, the entire city, entire Maharashtra or entire nation and even parts of world has been drenched into the sorrow and hopelessness because Ratan Tata left a void that will never be filled. We are also talking about NCPA, the National Centre for Performing Arts, where the mortal remains were brought, and around 10 a.m. The mortal remains were kept for people to come and pay their last respects. So from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. the mortal remains were kept there, and at that particular place there were thousands and thousands of people who came and paid their last respects. Also, we are talking about the Tata Group, and Tata Group is diverse. We all know that. So people from various offices of Tata, they had come. People from various backgrounds, they had come. Also, when we are talking about the dignitaries, they had also come here at NCPA, and we are talking about Amit Shah, we are talking about Piyush Goyal, people from various political backgrounds, including Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Deputy Chief Ministers of Maharashtra, and even Sharad Pawar, Supriya Sule, his daughter. They were all here. We also saw Amir Khan, Kiran Rao. They had also come to pay their last respect. We also saw various people, various personalities from the industry background, including Kumar Mangalam Birla and also RBI Governor Shaktikant Das. Amidst all this, there was also a special visitor who paid his hearty respect to Ratan Tata, and you'd be knowing that Ratan Tata had his love for animals, had his love for four-legged creatures. and amongst that is the popular the Bombay House, where he built a kennel for the strays, and no one from the Tata area, Tata Group, can shoo away any stray that comes near. So you'd be aware of this particular fact, and because of this, he really made a lot of furry friends, and one of them was Goa. The name of the dog is Goa. He had come, and he also paid his last respects to Ratan Tata, and he then went out. So, we can understand from this that Ratan Tata has not just impacted human lives, but he has also impacted and made better several lives of the four-legged creatures as well. So it's not just human, but also all beings that Ratan Tata cared for. So be it corporate, be it society, or be it the nature, or be it these four-legged creatures, Ratan Tata has cared for everyone, and rightfully this day will be seen as the day, even yesterday and today will be seen as the day of mourning, and no one can ever actually come out of this particular void. Ramesh.
Indeed, as Shyama Mishra is reporting there from Mumbai, India is mourning the passing of Ratan Tata, and the funeral is taking place with full state honours in Mumbai as we speak. Shyama, thank you. Appreciate it. Now, tributes have been pouring in from industry leaders, politicians and public alike. India's Home Minister Amit Shah extended his heartfelt condolences to the Tata family.
कल श्री रतन टाटा का निधन हो गया। सबसे पहले तो मैं रतन टाटा जी को बहुत मनपूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। रतन टाटा जी, मेरा उनसे व्यक्तिगत भी गहरा परिचय रहा, परंतु न केवल भारतीय उद्योग जगत के, पूरे विश्व के एक सम्मानीय उद्योजक रहे। टाटा समूह का नेतृत्व करना ही अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी बात होती है, परंतु उन्होंने टाटा समूह का नेतृत्व ऐसे समय में संभाला जब टाटा समूह को अनेक प्रकार के परिवर्तन करना जरूरी था, और धैर्यपूर्वक बारीकी से अध्ययन करके टाटा समूह के सारे उद्योगों को और काम करने की पद्धति को, दोनों को उन्होंने परिवर्तित किया, और पहले की तरह आज भी टाटा समूह भारत के उद्योग जगत में एक ध्रुव तारा बनकर है। उसमें रतन टाटा जी का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है।
Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal turned emotional while recalling his memories of Ratan Tata.
बहुत ही संवेदनशील व्यक्तित्व थे। जीवन भर उन्होंने टाटा ग्रुप को तो बड़ा बनाया ही, टाटा ग्रुप को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय पटल पर एक अलग ही पहचान बनाई, भारत की पहचान बनाई, विश्व में अपने ग्रुप को विश्व भर में बढ़ाकर। लेकिन साथ ही साथ उनके जो दानवीर चरित्र था, हर प्रकार से, हर किस्म से, हर अच्छे काम के लिए वो तत्पर रहते थे। कभी ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति नहीं होगा जिसने कोई उनसे अच्छे काम के लिए मदद मांगी हो और उन्होंने ना किया हो।
Infosys co-founder, philanthropist and lawmaker Sudha Murthy recalled her memories of Ratan Tata in Bengaluru's Indian Institute of Science.
I feel extremely sorry, for this news. It's a sad news. I knew him personally for a long time. He was simple, straight, a man of integrity, care for employees. It was very high in his case, and he was a true Tata. He was so simple. I will tell you an example. I come from a place known as Hubli, and my college is BVB, College of Engineering. I said, sir, you should come once to my college. It means a lot to our students. I thought he will not come because number one, he is very busy. Second thing is a small town, whether he will be able to make it or not. He did come, spend a day there. And that time I realized he is extremely simple. And all students, mobbed him, and he was never annoyed.
Aditya Birla Group's chairperson Kumar Mangalam Birla and Ratan Tata's half-brother Noel pay tributes to the late icon.
देश के लिए बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है, not just for corporate India but for the country as a whole. I think the impact of his work is quite unparalleled, and I think we should remember him through the richness of his work. हम कई बार मिलते थे सालों पहले, और हमें बहुत ज़्यादा सोबर थे, फ्रूगल थे, और देश के हित में सोचते थे.
India's Central Bank Governor Shakti Kanta Das reached the National Centre for Performing Arts in Mumbai to pay his last respects to Ratan Tata.
I was here to pay my respects to the departed soul. There are two things which stand out about Sri Ratan Tata. The first is that he was a true visionary, a great visionary. The second thing was that he was a strong believer in ethics in corporate governance. I think whenever the economic history of modern India is written, I would feel that a full volume will not be enough to describe his achievements. A truly towering personality, a great son of India, a phenomenal person. May his soul rest in peace.
Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, along with his party's leader Praful Patel, paid tributes too. Sharad Pawar of the Nationalist Congress Party, Sharad Chandra Pawar, and his lawmaker daughter Supriya Sule paid their tributes to the late industrialist. Across India, several other industry leaders from various sectors also paid tributes and reflected on the immense influence Ratan Tata had on both business and society.
देश के सबसे बड़े उद्योगपति, उनका काम करना अलग से तरीका था. इथिक्स, मोरालिटी, वैल्यू सिस्टम पर कंपनियां चलाते थे वो. मुझे उनके साथ काम का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ. उनकी हम्बलनेस, ह्यूमिलिटी, ग्राउंड टू द अर्थ, जो उनकी अप्रोच एटीट्यूड होता था, बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला. मैं उनकी आत्मा की शांति के लिए प्रार्थना करता हूँ और भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति दे, और ये भी अरदास करता हूँ कि रतन टाटा जी अमर रहें.
Today we mourn the loss of Sri Ratan Tata ji. We all are going to miss him. He being a great leader, he not only did for the corporate, but his contribution to the society is also extraordinary. Through his visionary leadership, he has done a lot to the society, be it the education or health sector or any other thing which is important for the country. Not only India, but I'm sure the entire world is going to miss him.
US Ambassador to India Eric Garcetti condoled the demise of Ratan Tata. Sharing his thoughts on X, the envoy wrote, and I quote, "India and the world have lost a giant with a giant heart. When I was nominated to serve as ambassador, the first congratulations from India came from Ratan Tata, who gave so much in service to my hometown, serving on the board of the University of Southern California. He saw a future of greater prosperity and equality for his country and did so much for our world. May his memory be a blessing," unquote. Acclaimed sand artist Doordarshan Patnaik paid tributes to veteran industrialist and philanthropist Ratan Tata with his sand art on the Puri beach. Patnaik shared a video of that on his handle on X. Still to come on DD India News Hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi receives a warm welcome in Laos.
Extreme weather events are going to get more frequent and intense. What can we do? Here are some ideas.
In each of the grid, we installed rain gauges. and we identified local people from the villages, and these people were given training how to measure rainfall, and every day these farmers used to give rainfall data into a WhatsApp group that we had created called Wayanad Weather Forecast.
Sweden started very early to cut out fossil fuels from our energy mix, so that also shows that big, bold changes are possible.
There are 5 to 6 families who have joined us on this journey towards self-sufficiency. We also exchange products and goods.
If we use cork instead of these materials, which are not renewable, cork is, we are decreasing several orders of magnitude.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the 21st ASEAN-India Summit in Vientiane in Laos. Speaking on the India's Act East policy, the Prime Minister stressed that in the last decade, this policy has given new energy, direction and momentum to the historic relations between India and the ASEAN countries. He says that in the last 10 years, India's trade with the ASEAN region has almost doubled to more than $130 billion.
हम एक दूसरे के पड़ोसी हैं, ग्लोबल साउथ के साथी सदस्य हैं और विश्व में तेज गति से ग्रो करने वाला क्षेत्र है। हम शांतिप्रिय देश हैं, एक दूसरे की राष्ट्रीय अखंडता और संप्रभुता का सम्मान करते हैं और अपने युवाओं के उज्जवल भविष्य के प्रति हम कमिटेड हैं। मेरा मानना है कि 21वीं सदी एशियन सेंचुरी भारत और आसियान देशों की सेंचुरी है। आज जब विश्व के कई हिस्सों में संघर्ष और तनाव की स्थिति है, तब भारत और आसियान की मित्रता, समन्वय, संवाद और सहयोग बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। आसियान की सफल अध्यक्षता के लिए मैं लाओ पीडीआर के प्रधानमंत्री सोनसाई सिपांदोन को हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं।
Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Modi was given a grand welcome by the Indian community in Laos. Take a look. Prime Minister Modi also witnessed an episode of Lao Ramayan called Palak Palam or Pralak Praram, performed by the prestigious Royal Theatre of Luang Prabang. Ramayana continues to be celebrated in Laos, and the epic reflects the shared heritage and age-old civilization connection between the two countries. Several facets of Indian culture and tradition have been practiced and preserved in Laos for centuries. The two countries are closely working to illuminate their shared heritage. Several dignitaries, including Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Governor of Bank of Laos and Mayor of Vientiane were present on the occasion. Laos recently issued a postage stamp featuring Sri Ram Lalla of Ayodhya, making it the first country in the world to issue a stamp depicting the revered deity. And Prime Minister Modi also participated in a blessing ceremony by senior Buddhist monks of Central Buddhist Fellowship Organization of Laos. Led by Most Venerable Mahaveth Masanai, the revered abbot of Si Sakit Temple in Vientiane. Shared Buddhist heritage represents yet another facet of close civilizational bonds between India and Laos. The Indian Prime Minister also witnessed the exhibition on restoration and conservation of Vatpur Temple Complex done by the Archaeological Survey of India in Laos. The Vatpur Temple Complex, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is being restored and conserved by Archaeological Survey of India, is believed to be over 1,000 years old. The Champasa cultural landscape stretches from the sacred mountain of Linga Parvata to the Mekong River. The Vatpur site was originally built as a Hindu temple complex in the early 11th century. Still to come on DD India News Hour. US President Joe Biden spars with Republican candidate Donald Trump as election campaign hots up. And Hurricane Milton destroys homes and knocks out power to 2 million people in the US state of Florida.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. A quick recap of the headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi tells the ASEAN summit in Laos that the 21st century is the century of India and the ASEAN nations. Israel warns of a lethal, precise and surprising strike on Iran as its Prime Minister speaks to the US President. Hurricane Milton makes landfall in the US state of Florida, leaves a trail of destruction. And India mourns the passing of Ratan Tata, state funeral in Mumbai. Well, let's get you some news from West Asia now. A video was released by the Israeli army on Thursday demonstrating airstrikes with subsequent explosions on Hezbollah weapons storage facility in Lebanon. Israel started ground military operations in Lebanon since the 30th of September, with ground clashes expanding day by day between Israeli Defense Forces and Hezbollah, putting the region on high alert. A bilateral meeting was held between the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince and Mohammed bin Salman and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in Riyadh on Wednesday to discuss the recent developments in the region, along with some bilateral issues and efforts to broker a ceasefire in Lebanon and Gaza. Earlier this week, Tehran had warned the Gulf states of reciprocation if they allowed use of their airspace against Iran. The region has been in an undecisive and edgy mode, awaiting Israel's response to Tehran's recent retaliatory missile attacks. As bombings and airstrikes become a daily routine for the people of Lebanon, locals in Beirut continue opening shops and businesses to carry on with life as usual. They claim that they are the survivors who have to carry on despite hardships that they face. More than 2,100 people have been killed in Lebanon in recent Israeli strikes aimed at Hezbollah's various hideouts. Meanwhile, the death toll from the Israeli attacks on Lebanon targeting Hezbollah's hideouts has crossed more than 2,100, with 10,099 people injured as per the recent report released by Lebanon's government. The Israel Defense Forces has said that the ground military operations will continue in Lebanon, with 185 Hezbollah strongholds struck on Wednesday. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer inside Downing Street in central London as the Ukrainian leader embarks on a whistle-stop tour of European capitals aimed at securing military aid before next month's crunch US election. The meeting comes as a boost for Ukraine after a summit of its main backers was cancelled at a difficult moment in its fight against Russia. Zelensky and Starmer have both described the war with Russia as being at a critical point, and the Ukrainian leader is keen for the West to deliver long-range missiles and other support to try to change the balance on the battlefield. Meanwhile, a military airbase in Russia was targeted in an Ukrainian drone strike on Thursday morning local time. Red flashes lit up the night sky and sounds of loud rumble were heard in the Adygea Republic region. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry said it downed 47 drones over the broader Kuban region during the overnight strike. And staying in Europe, Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz received Antonio Costa, the European Union's designated next Council President, on Thursday. The two leaders held closed-door talks at Berlin's Chancellery. It's expected that the future course of the EU is the main agenda of discussion between the two leaders. In his new role, Costa, the first ever socialist to be elected for the position, is expected to work in the role of a mediator between governments and heads of states in a fragmented Europe. Across the Atlantic, as the U.S. counts down to its presidential election, U.S. President Joe Biden sparred with Republican candidate Donald Trump. Trump reached Biden's hometown to woo voters. DD India's Akhilesh Suman reports.
Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump took the political fight to U.S. President Joe Biden's hometown of Scranton in Pennsylvania. It was Trump's second visit to Pennsylvania in 5 days, as he held rallies in primarily blue-collar regions.
Tim and Comrade Kamala are really a true threat. They are a true threat to democracy. I'm not a threat to democracy. I'm the one that's going to save democracy.
Trump and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris are locked in a neck-to-neck fight in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a swing state with 19 electoral votes and is likely to prove crucial to who wins the November 5th poll. Trump once again targeted the Biden administration and Harris on allegations of ineffective rescue and relief ops after the area was swamped by hurricanes.
She's just led the worst rescue operation in history in North Carolina. The worst. And we have another big one coming in, but the worst, the one in North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Virginia, pieces of Florida got hit.
U.S. President Joe Biden strongly refuted the claims made by the Republican nominee. Biden accused Trump of spreading lies regarding a natural calamity.
Former President Trump has led this onslaught of lies. Assertions have been made that property is being confiscated. It's simply not true. They're saying people impacted by these storms will receive $750 in cash and no more. That is simply not true either.
Meanwhile, Oscar-winning actor Julia Roberts joined Harris's campaign in her home state of Georgia.
I believe in Georgia. I wouldn't have come home if I didn't believe that we can accomplish really beautiful goals that will extend beyond our state's borders.
Donald Trump, too, in his reading rally, introduced Vivek Ramaswamy, an American of Indian origin who also stood for the presidential post and later withdrew in favor of Donald Trump.
You heard Vivek. How about Vivek? Great guy.
The US presidential polls are being called the closest ever in recent times. As November 5th approaches, the endorsements and counterclaims are certainly helping it to live up to the billing. Akhilesh Suman's report for DD India.
The Election Commission of Sri Lanka has announced the postal voting schedule for the upcoming general election. Voting will occur on the 30th of October and 1st November and 4 November at all district secretariats and election offices. For those who cannot vote on these dates, an alternative option will be available on the 7th and 8th of November. Postal voter list will be finalized by 16th October and official ballot papers will be dispatched shortly thereafter. With nearly 700,000 government employees participating in the recent presidential elections, the general elections are set for 14th November to elect 225 lawmakers. The 2024 Beijing Mid-Autumn and National Day Lantern Festival kicked off at the Beijing Garden Expo Park in Fengtai District. The 9 themed exhibition areas include festive melody, celebrating cultural traditions, showcasing natural beauty. The festival immersed the visitors in a kaleidoscope of colors and experiences where each lantern installation tells a unique story. Culinary enthusiasts will delight the festival with delicious cuisines from traditional mooncakes to innovative street foods. The festival was officially launched on 14 September and runs until the 31st of October. In his National Day address, President William Lai Ching-te asserted that China has no right to represent Taiwan, while also expressing the island's willingness to collaborate with Beijing on global challenges. He reaffirmed Taiwan's commitment to defending its sovereignty, maintaining peace in the Taiwan Strait, and pursuing equal and dignified dialogue with China.
On this land, democracy and freedom are growing and thriving. The People's Republic of China has no right to represent Taiwan. As President, my mission is to ensure that our nation endures and progresses, and to unite the 23 million people of Taiwan. I will also uphold the commitment to resist annexation and encroachment upon our sovereignty.
Right, now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Albania's president received Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Albania on Thursday. Erdogan will sign cooperation agreements with the country and is expected to meet with Prime Minister Edi Rama. Right, let's get you some latest visuals coming to you from Laos of a meeting between the leaders of India and Japan. Remember, Prime Minister Modi is in Vientiane, Laos for the ASEAN, India and East Asia summits. And here he can be seen holding bilateral talks with the new Japanese Prime Minister, Ishiba Shigeru. The Indian Prime Minister is on a 2-day visit to Laos, as I mentioned, for the ASEAN, India and East Asia summits. This is one of the several bilaterals he will hold on the margins of those 2 summits in Laos's capital, Vientiane. Right, if you're just joining us, we are getting you the latest visuals from Laos's capital, Vientiane, of a bilateral meeting that's taking place between the leaders of India and Japan. On your screens are Prime Ministers Narendra Modi and Ishiba Shigeru. The Indian Prime Minister is on a 2-day visit to the Southeast Asian country for the ASEAN, India and East Asia summits. Prime Minister Modi has just finished addressing the ASEAN-India summit, where he spoke about how India is a peace-loving nation and that India and ASEAN both value unity and integrity of nations. He says we are committed to providing a bright future for our youths. Prime Minister Modi going on to say that he believes that the 21st century is the century of India and the ASEAN nations. At a time when there is strife between different regions of the world, the understanding, cooperation and friendship of India with the ASEAN nations plays a significant role, he said. Right, in other news, ASEAN-India released a joint statement on advancing digital transformation. Leaders reaffirmed their commitment to promote the ASEAN-India comprehensive strategic partnership. They also recognized the significant role of digital public infrastructure and promoting inclusivity, efficiency and innovation in public service delivery. The leaders appreciated the contributions made by India towards implementation of the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025, acknowledged the development of the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2026-2030, which aims to expedite digital transformation across the ASEAN region, in line with the common goals of the ASEAN Community Vision 2045. The leaders appreciated the Indian side for setting up ASEAN-India Fund for Digital Future, focusing on cooperation in digital transformation in the ASEAN countries. They also declared to strengthen cooperation in digital public infrastructure, financial technology, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence or AI, capacity building and knowledge sharing, sustainable financing and investment, and implementation mechanism as well. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also announced a 10-point plan which includes first on celebrating the year 2025 as the ASEAN-India Year of Tourism, for which India would make available $5 million towards joint activities. Second, to celebrate a decade of Act East policy through several people-centric activities, including a youth summit, a startup festival, hackathon, music festival, ASEAN-India network of think tanks and Delhi Dialogue. Third, to organize ASEAN-India Women Scientists Conclave under the ASEAN-India Science and Technology Development Fund. Fourth, doubling the number of scholarships at Nalanda University and provision of new scholarships for ASEAN students at agricultural universities in India. Fifth, on reviewing of ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement by 2025. Sixth, enhancing disaster resilience, for which India would make available $5 million. Seventh, initiating a new health minister's track towards building health resilience. 8. Initiating a regular mechanism of ASEAN-India cyber policy dialogue towards strengthening digital and cyber resilience. 9th, on announcing a workshop on green hydrogen. And last but not the least, the Indian Prime Minister invited the ASEAN leaders to join a Plant a Tree for Mother campaign towards building climate resilience. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Germany's economy is on track to shrink for a second straight year. And Rafael Nadal officially announces retirement from tennis. He ends his incredible career, which saw him win 22 Grand Slam titles. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. In business news, Indian benchmark indices ended higher amid volatility on Thursday with Nifty around 25,000. At close, the Sensex was up 144 points or 0.18% at 81,611 and the Nifty was up 16 points at 24,998. Sector-wise, banking, metal and energy sectors saw decent gains while pharma and IT saw a sharp decline. The German government has said that its economy, Europe's biggest, is on track to shrink for a second consecutive year. Joining us for more is DW's Chiponda Chimbelu. Chiponda, so what did the German government have to say there?
Thanks for having me. Well, the German government has revised its economic growth forecast downward by 0.5%. It now expects the economy to shrink by 0.2% this year. And just weeks ago in the summer, the German government had been expecting the economy to grow 0.3%. Now, the country's economy minister, Robert Habeck, said Germany and Europe, which are squeezed between China and the US, need to learn to assert themselves. But the downward revision, of course, shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone who has been keeping an eye on German economic news. Leading think tanks have already revised their outlooks for Germany downwards. And for now, expectations are that the economy will return to growth next year after 2 consecutive years of contraction. Berlin expects GDP to expand 1.1% in 2025 and 1.6% in 2026.
Now, that said, just how realistic are the projections for next year?
The growth projections for next year and 2026 are linked to the federal and state governments implementing the government's latest growth initiative plan quickly and, of course, without any compromises. Now, that package includes tax advantages for companies that want to invest, incentives for older workers and foreign skilled workers, less red tape, and lower electricity prices for manufacturers. Now, that is a long list, which also shows the scale of the structural challenges that Germany faces. On Wednesday, the economy minister said that it has already tackled some of them. But one leading analyst we spoke with here at DW told us that the government is still underestimating the structural weaknesses of the German economy. In fact, many think tanks are more pessimistic than the government. And of course, geopolitics could also have a major impact on how the economy develops. The conflict in the Middle East has escalated and the trade row between the EU and China has worsened. And of course, we won't know the outcome of the US presidential elections until early November. So that's a lot of variables.
Indeed. And before we let you go, Chiponde, what can we expect?
It will also weigh on the Eurozone. So the recovery of the 20 countries in the currency bloc will be slower than expected. And in turn, the region is unlikely to provide much support to Germany, which is, of course, Europe's industrial powerhouse. The latest factory orders for Germany show that in August, orders from the Eurozone fell more than 10%. Growth came from outside the region. And if that is where the support is coming from, it means that Germany and Europe, to a lesser degree, are more vulnerable to the global markets, where, of course, geopolitics may continue to play a bigger role. And while geopolitics are harder to predict, what is clear is that Germany's economic struggles will weigh on Europe, especially as businesses here face increasing costs of energy and labor.
Right, Chiponda, thank you. Appreciate it. That was Chiponda Chimbelu reporting there from Berlin. Right, and now the news from the world of sport. We get you some sporting action now. Star player Rafael Nadal has officially announced his retirement from tennis. Nadal ends his incredible career, which saw him win 22 Grand Slam titles. 14 of these titles came at the French Open, which led the 38-year-old Spanish legend earning the nickname King of Clay because of his dominance on the red dirt. In a video message, Nadal revealed the news and said that he is retiring from professional tennis. He further says that the last couple of years have been difficult for him and he has not been able to play without limitations. The 38-year-old will make his final appearance for Spain at November's Davis Cup finals in Malaga. Another milestone achievement by England cricketer Joe Root with his 6th double ton. Joe Root now becomes the first international cricketer to reach 20,000 international runs. Here's more.
England cricketer Joe Root created history at the Multan Test, scoring 20,000 runs at an international cricketing event in tests. Hitting his 6th test double 100 as well, Joe Root continued to punish the Pakistan bowlers on day 4 of the first test. Root got to his double 100 in 305 balls, building on his maiden test century. And when Joe Root went past 183 on day 4, he also became the first England batter to score 20,000 runs in international cricket. Root became only the second active international cricketer after Virat Kohli to score as many runs across all 3 formats of the game. Root became the 13th player and the first since A.B. de Villiers to go past 20,000 runs in international cricket. Root has also gone past 1,000 runs in a calendar year for the 5th time in his career. The England batter triggered hopes of him going to break Sachin Tendulkar's all-time test record of 15,921 runs. Not only this, Joe Root also scored his 6th double ton at the tournament. If we take a look at the most double hundreds for England, it has been done by Walter Hammond, who scored 7, Joe Root at 6, Alastair Cook at 5 and Leonard Newton at 4. The latest achievement of Joe Root highlights Root's adaptability across all formats of cricket. Sports Desk, DD India.
The Bangladesh women's cricket team will face 2016 champion West Indies in the ongoing ICC Women's T20 World Cup on Thursday. Bangladesh is coming into the match after suffering a defeat by 21 runs against England last Saturday. On the other hand, the West Indies hammered Scotland by 6 wickets in its second match played on Sunday in Dubai. Both teams have won 1 and lost 1 match, and they would look forward to win the second match to keep chances of qualifying for the semi-finals alive. Bangladesh has never managed to defeat the women in maroon in T20I so far, but they can stun them in the upcoming match. Before we close, as Saptami dawns, the vibrant Durga Puja celebrations kick off across Assam, marking a significant day in this much-anticipated festival. The installation of Goddess Durga's idol on the altar signifies the beginning of days filled with devotion and joy. From early morning, devotees of all ages flock to the pandals, offering their prayers to Ma Durga. The atmosphere is electric, brimming with excitement and reverence. The highlight of the festivities is the captivating Thak dance, which adds to the lively spirit of these celebrations. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India News Hour. You can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen now to download it. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.